hosted the biggest WBFF amateur show in the world. We had more people in the audience that were at WBFF World Championships in Las Vegas. Everybody said, no, WBF is coming to South Africa. I want to enter. I had no money in my account. I literally used my social to market it, and it went absolutely viral. So that changed the industry completely, and that's when I realized I've got the power to elevate what I'm so passionate about in South Africa. I've built a lot of businesses, a lot of them are doing well, and a lot of them failed. And I had a lot of people in my life for the wrong reasons.
Are you a people pleaser?
So that helped a lot. I really made a lot of money in the industry, and I want to chat about that for other people that's up and coming as well. I constantly felt like I had to be in shape. Mentally, it really killed me.
Do you see yourself in the mirror the way other people see you? Or is this some slight body dysmorphia?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to lie. I've got body dysmorphia. The look, it's harder now, the older you get. If you do let go, sometimes it's harder to get back.
What do you believe is the most dangerous lie the fitness industry tells people?
If you had to ask what's the best advice I can give to anybody is...
Jaco de Bruyn, welcome to the Blue Room.
It's very nice to be here. We eventually made it.
Yeah, we've been trying for a little while, the Joburg, Cape Town thing. You travel a lot, I travel a lot, but we're here.
Cape Town is a bit slower, so that's why I feel like our schedules never match, you know?
I'm always up here. You're just a busy man. So I always like to start with people's bios. So close to 1 million followers, fitness model. I know you guys, you and Brad have Dad Bod. You guys have a fitness movement. You've got a whole bunch of different stuff. Do you just want to give us a brief overview of who you are?
So I've been in the industry almost going on 20 years now. I've been a WBFF Pro, won my pro status in 2011, top 5 in the world for 7 years inside WBFF. Fitness is my life. I've built quite a lot of businesses around the fitness industry, using my platforms to make the best of what I do and build my own personal brand. I own one of the biggest fitness shows in South Africa, FRM, Fitness Runway Model, which is 9 years old now. And we hosted our biggest one last year at the Hilton Hotel in Sandton, where we had almost over 150 athletes on stage. It's doing really well. I've got my own wine company, collaborated with Lavinia Wine Estate in Stellenbosch, own my own doggy parlor, Ultimate Pet Care, so quite the entrepreneur. And then myself and Brad owns Dadbot, and we also launched our very first Mombot this year, which seems to be doing really well with the interest.
Amazing. I saw them Planet Fitness's platform literally, I think about a week ago. Well, this week, actually.
So this is Planet Fit's second year involved with Dadbot and the Mombot. And it's really a great partnership to be with. I really believe that now bringing the women into it, it's really going to elevate what myself and Brad's idea is in this community.
Yeah, I think I've been involved in fitness for a little while now, just getting back into it after a long time, not training at all, really. And my biggest thing through the last 2 years of fitness is just to inspire people, just to, get the mom that's just pushed a baby that wants to get a pre-baby body back, or the dad that's sitting on the couch, just got divorced, beer bump, having a beer, get off the couch, get moving type thing. So adding mom bod to it, I think is going to be great. I did watch the Dad Bod stuff last year. It was really cool.
So Dad was been around for 4 years now, and every guy that entered said, oh, I want my wife, I want my girlfriend to be part of this. And we eventually thought, let's do it this year, because now we've already got the platform of men that's been part of it and built that community for over 4 years. So most of them will probably join the Dad Bod again and just bring all of their partners. And we've opened the entries last week, Monday, and we already got more female entries than men entries. So I think it's gonna be big.
Well, we actually do that, like with Dirty Dozen when we race. We find it's close to 2/3 female that race. So what's quite nice about that, if you've got more females doing it, they're going to grab their husbands or boyfriends or fiancés as well. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be a nice balancing act, and I suppose it's always easier to get into shape with someone holding you accountable.
Yeah, definitely helps. Especially in the same household,
So 20 years in the industry, so you're giving your age away a little bit there. Are you still competing at all, or?
I did really well in competing, and I just from the get go, I want to say that competing wasn't really um, the thing that driven me. I'm more like an entrepreneur, and I use that to my benefit. I was really blessed to do so well in the industry. I think I was the first South African that ever won the muscle model division, and I think that really helped me put myself on the map internationally. Um, I really traveled the whole world through the fitness industry. I was so blessed to be able to do that. Um, but yeah, to answer your question, my last time that I competed was 2019. Um, but I don't think I'll be back soon. I'll still live the lifestyle. I love the sport to bits. You know, I feel like my purpose was through my accolades that I had to build something in the industry and give that opportunity to people that follow in my footsteps, to also give them the opportunity to do as well as I did.
Well, I love that you've, put your passion and made your passion a successful business or businesses.
Yeah.
Just explain to us the different divisions because a lot of us don't know. We just think, bodybuilding's bodybuilding or stage shows are stage shows.
Yeah. So I've never done bodybuilding, but there isn't really any difference between prepping yourself to step on a stage between bodybuilding and fitness.
Yeah.
The only difference really is that we don't do the hardcore posing on a stage where you would do in bodybuilding, where in fitness modeling you walk the ramp, you've got free way of expressing yourself. I think we still do quarter turns in prejudging, but there isn't really any hardcore bodybuilding poses in WBFF. Now WBFF is World Beauty Fitness and Fashion, and they were the biggest fitness federation in the world. I also bought the rights for WBFF South Africa 2013. Um, and I hosted the biggest WBFF amateur show in the world
Wow.
at Carnival City in Joburg in 2013, 14, 15, and 16. We had more people in the audience that were at WBFF World Championships in Las Vegas.
Sure.
So I think that's when the fitness industry really changed, and I'm so glad that I were part of that change, giving people the platform to come and showcase themselves on home grounds. Because for me, the worst thing ever was competing in South Africa, and I did so well. The first time I did Mr. South Africa, which not even part of fitness and it's more the modeling side of my earlier career. Mr. South Africa, Mr. Pretoria, Mr. World did really well there, but because I was always in front of camera, you got to look good. So that's when my training started and my body started changing, and I was like, flip, I love this. I want more of this. So I did a bit of research, and I saw there was a show called Body Beautiful in 2011, and I did that show, and I won 3 years in a row, Mr. Physique. But every time you win, you walk away with a tub of protein that expires in a month, or a free haircut, or
Yeah.
a free personal training session. I mean, I just won Mr. Physique, and now you get trained by a personal trainer for one session. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't do this. Like, what is happening in this industry? So I said, no, I have to go to America. So I went to America, and I competed. I entered myself. I competed in WBFF World Amateur um, Championships in Las Vegas, and that's where I won my pro status as the very first muscle model, and I was from South Africa. So that really created a massive platform for me, and the opportunity to not just travel and see the world. I literally, for 7 years, I flew overseas to a different country all around the world to be part of expos, to do seminars, to speaking to young kids that wants to compete and be part of the modeling world and the fitness world combined. So it was absolutely incredible experience for me, and that's when I thought maybe I should bring that to South Africa. So I spoke to Paul Dillett. I don't know if you know him, very well known bodybuilder back in the day with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he looked at me and said, no, there's no way that you'll be able. So many people asked me to bring that federation to South Africa, and it's not going to work. It's too expensive. But long story short, I brought that to South Africa. It cost me an arm and a leg. I had no money in my account. I literally used my social to market it, and it went absolutely viral. Everybody said, no, WBF is coming to South Africa. I want to enter. Where can I enter? Bro, I made my own website on I can't even remember, but it was like a poop and hole school website.
You look back
And
and you just think, what
yeah,
the
I
hell?
put my own banking details on there, and bro, I had so many entries. back then, Andrew Carruthers owned all of the fitness magazine, Muscle, Evolution, Fitness He's, Fitness His, and he phoned me and said, I want to be part of this. Like, what is happening? But long story short, hosted my first show. I got a lot of sponsors that year, and I had over 260 athletes on stage,
Amazing.
and it was over 3,000 people in the audience. Now, that's unheard of
Yeah.
a bodybuilding fitness show in South Africa. So that changed the industry completely. And that's when I realized, I've got the power to elevate what I'm so passionate about in South Africa.
As an entrepreneur, I mean, it's, I do it. I've been doing it for 13 years now. Self-doubt's a big thing. Did you doubt yourself?
I still do to this day.
Well, that's an entrepreneur, isn't it?
I still do to this day. And then you look back and you say, fuck, I can't believe I actually did that.
Yeah.
But I've never, everything that I've done and achieved, like I've built a lot of businesses, a lot of them are doing well and a lot of them failed.
Yeah.
But
businness do fail.
they do fail.
And you got to be honest about that.
And I've spent and I've lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I've realized is it's not necessarily just the self-doubt, is the people that you do it with.
Yeah.
Because if you had to ask me what's the best advice I can give you to anybody, is be careful with who you work with.
Yeah.
Because that person is going to be the person that brings you down or is going to build you up.
Yeah.
And I've learned that the hard way. And just it's very important for your business to be successful. You have to choose the right person and make sure that that person is on the right level as you are for you to elevate and test it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I've had that multiple times. It doesn't mean someone's a bad person,
Yeah.
but a bad business partner is a bad business partner. And entrepreneurship's also a lonely space. I mean, May and I chat all the time, and it's, if something's really good's about to happen, you can't tell anyone. Something bad's happening, you kind of keep it quiet and make sure it sort of looks good. I think with businesses failing, it's a good thing. It's, failing forward. I think the stats globally, actually stats out of the States, it's your 7th business that you hit it big with. That's the average.
I'm almost there.
I was impressed you could count to 5. No, but that's the thing. It's, if you don't try it, you won't know.
Yeah.
And I couldn't agree more. It's about surrounding yourself with the right people. I think as you get older as well, your circles get smaller. I think
100%.
you've got a massive following. I mean, how's your friendship circle? Is it big? Is it very small and tight?
It's extremely small.
Yeah. To protect you?
To protect myself, and I think I've built like a wall around myself because I've got a lot of followers. I'm extremely well known in the industry, and I'm not saying that with the ego. I'm saying it because of all my accolades and what I've achieved. And it's a fact. And I had a lot of people in my life for the wrong reasons. And it took me time to realize this. A lot of people told me that this person is in your life for the wrong reason. But because of my personality, I'm not open to seeing that.
Yeah.
Now that I'm older and I've got the right people in my life that help me to see that, listen here, this person shouldn't be in your life and he's using and abusing you for who you are in the industry and in your own right, So now I'm definitely much more wiser. I've let go of a lot of things that I've built up in my life, and I had the choice to rather let that go. Would I want toxic people in my life, or would I just let go and make peace with it and feel good at the way I feel, and I feel at ease? And I made that decision in the last 2 years. So I feel really good. I had to let go of a lot of businesses, but today I'm very happy. I've met Brad now, which is an incredible, huge part of what we do in our life with the dad bod and mom bod. And he really helped me a lot to realize that who is right and who is wrong for you.
Are you a people pleaser?
Big people pleaser. It's funny you say that now, because New Year's the 1st of Jan now, we sat around the table or outside, and we all said, Brad actually brought it up. He said, "No, what is name 4 things that you want to change?" And people pleasing was one of them. And I feel like I had the same vision for myself last year. But I'm still there.
Stick to those New Year's resolutions.
I'm still there. Like, I think it's just part of my character and who I am. But I am very much aware now that I need to not be as much as a people pleaser. But it's part of my character. So, it's hard to change something that's in your heart,
Inherently there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, people pleasers tend to get used more than anyone else.
Yeah.
It's because you kind of go in blindly, you think the best of
Yeah.
everyone. Um, if you look back, let's say 10 years ago, is there, what would you tell yourself 10 years ago in business that you know now?
Not to just give 50% of your business away when you come up with a new idea.
Equity is
Yeah.
expensive.
um, I've done it probably 3 or 4 times, and not one of those people are in my life anymore. And it was just because, of my good heart and my good intention to give other people the opportunity. And those people that was part of my life really helped me a lot.
Yeah.
They had their own, what do you call it, a value that they added to the business, and they were extremely good at it, stuff that I could not have done by myself. And it also saved a lot of costs because that people had that skills.
Yeah.
But most of the businesses that we started was my idea. Every single logo and business that I had, I designed myself. I
Yeah.
came up with the name myself. But a lot of ego and selfishness came along that after 2, 3 years.
Yeah.
Um, and that was probably the biggest lesson that I've learned, being working for myself and being my own boss.
I think it's always hard, let's say you go 50-50. Let's say we start a business together. Invariably, we're not going to put in the same amount of effort. We both might put in the effort, but you might bring 70% of the clients, I might bring 30%. It's always a fun balancing act. You and Brad seem to have a very good relationship. It's almost like you guys will not do anything without each
Yeah.
other. I mean, even just to try get you, it's got to
Yeah.
get Brad and vice versa.
Yeah.
I mean, how long have you been working with Brad? What makes Brad a good business partner?
So he's probably the most authentic and non-bullshit person that I've ever met, and he calls how do you say it in English?
Spade a
A
spade.
spade a spade.
Yeah.
He will immediately see when there's bullshit,
Yeah.
and my character would not see that. And it's extremely hard worker, extremely driven. A lot of the people that were in my life with my other business also were driven and hardworking, but I feel like there was an ego and a jealousy thing that came afterwards because I I am the face of the brand.
Yeah.
With everything that I've done in the past, and a lot of the attention were on me, but I feel like eventually that caught up with those people, and a little bit of a jealousy came in there. I don't have the editing skills or the graphic designing skills, or it's not where those people might have had that,
Yeah.
and that's why our businesses grew so well together. But then ego and jealousy came in, where myself and Brad doesn't have that. When I met Brad for the first time, he didn't even know who I was, which I loved. So no, we're very driven, and we're very, very, very good friends. So like we understand each other. He will tell me exactly when I've done something wrong. There's no corner staking here whatsoever.
It's a lot of mutual respect between you guys
Mutual
based on
respect,
that. So letting go is a big thing, and it can be business. It can be people have hurt you, past boyfriends, girlfriends, school teacher, whatever it may be. How do you? And it's a process, and I can tell it's difficult for you. And I'm likening it to me because I'm also a people pleaser. How do you let go? Do you weigh it up?
I weigh it up, and it takes me a bit of time to realize, all the information that I receive from a lot of people. And then I have to tell myself, is this really worth it? Are you willing to live with toxic people in your life? Are you willing to let go of something that is maybe not 100% up and running yet? And take all of that stress and anxiety that comes with it and just leave. And that was the decision I made in the last 2 years. Um, and it helped me, even though I didn't want to let go, because I put so much love and effort into what I do, even to this day. But I also understand that people do come and go in your life. And for every single person that was in my life, like, thank you. Like, you did help me to be who I am today. You did help everything that we've done. And I've learned through you. There's no hate, there's no animosity. I'm not a person that holds a grudge against anybody. Um, and you got to make that decision eventually down the line. And yeah, it's easier now than it was 10 years ago, definitely.
Jumping back to the physique side, I think a lot of the people who follow you, obviously more from the physique side, what you've done back then. What is, looking good's a constant. It must be a big pressure. What is your quiet pressure that no one else sees that you kind of sit with when you always need to look good and striving for excellence?
Um, Definitely the way that I looked. And I constantly felt like I had to be in shape, and I was in shape, and I probably still am in shape for the last 20 years of my life. So, that was the one pressure that you've just mentioned, and I don't think that will ever change. I'm not as hard on myself anymore, and that was also a decision that I had to make because mentally it really killed me.
Yeah,
Like
it's monotonous.
2 years ago, I was like, Jaco, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah,
I had the constant pressure of being 5% body fat for the last 15, 20 years. And it had its benefits because people in the industry and agencies and people overseas always knew, phone Jaco de Bruyn, he's in shape. He can
yeah,
do this shoot. He can be
you're
part of
always
this
ready.
ad. He's always ready. So that helped a lot. And I made a lot of money. I really made a lot of money in the industry. And I want to chat about that for other people that's up and coming as well. Um, but mentally it really started to catch up with me, and I was like, why am I doing it? And I had the biggest fear, and you call it muscle dysmorphia or whatever you might call it, but my biggest fear was that if I'm going to let go of the way that I live, how much longer am I going to live? And secondly, how strong is mentally is this going to have effect on me, because I'm a married man. I've got a beautiful wife. I've got two beautiful kids. You are being selfish. You
Yeah,
got to let go. But I was so scared of getting small because I'm actually an ectomorph and I have to really eat to keep my weight. Um, and 2 years ago, I just said that I got to stop this, because why am I doing it? I'm not competing anymore. I'm just going to let go. I know for a fact that I'm still going to train. I'm still going to eat healthy because it is part of my life and who I am as a person. And I did it, and my body didn't change. Fuck all.
yeah,
Like, I think it was just I had to overcome that barrier by knowing that, okay, if this happens and I'm going to get small and scrawny and skinny, then I'm just going to have to let it be. But it didn't happen. I think over the years, building muscle for 20 years, and like the
it's
muscle
there. It's not
maturity
going to
is
go.
there, it's not going to go.
Yeah,
I'm obviously not as big and as ripped as I, love to be, but that was a challenge. And the other, to get back to your question, is just it wasn't healthy on the people around me.
mm,
It's a very, very selfish sport, like extremely selfish. And for me, being at the top for so many years, I only realized like lately that how much the people supported me that
yeah,
lived under the same roof as me, my wife, my kids, my family, my friends. So I must have been a terrible person to be around. And because I was top 5 in the world, the pressure that you get from being a pro it's immensely high. Like, you look at these people, you compare yourself the whole time. I'm stepping on stage in a month, and I cannot let go of not being 110% um, on my diet and my training and my lifestyle. So I think that was a silence thing that really killed me. Every time I stepped on a plane, people, oh, Jaco living this beautiful life. I was traveling all around the world on a plane in a different country. But I remember every single time when I stepped on that plane, I was crying. I was like,
slow me.
and by myself. I'm
Yeah,
like, why am I? My babies were just born when I won my pro status.
yeah,
When I was in my prime, my wife was at home looking after the kids. Yes, I made a lot of money. And would I have done it if I didn't make money? Probably not. I really did it for the money because I was paid so well by my sponsors, and they were all international sponsors. I was paid in dollars, so it wasn't something that that was my job at the time. But I think that, to answer your question, that was my silent thing, not giving enough attention of the people around me.
well, I think you make a lot of sacrifice to do what you do, but all the people around you also have to make the
Yeah.
sacrifices. Um, so you wanted to give some advice to the youngsters out there. So maybe just jump into that while we're on this topic.
So, I made a lot of money, and I'm very fortunate to have been in that position to have international sponsors. And I know that I don't know how much the industry has changed, but I think a lot of we've got some incredible physiques in this country, and every time I look at them, I'm like, "Fuck, there's so much potential." But I feel like a lot of these athletes, they enter a show and they win one or two shows, and then now they think that the world is their empire, and everything is just going to fall on their laps, because there isn't a lot of money for you to be made in this sport in South Africa if you don't either go overseas, become a pro, and be in the top 5 or the top 3. But it's not going to happen if you don't build your own brand.
Mm.
And social media, unfortunately, is a big part of that.
Yeah.
And my advice to these people is, like, you might have the best physique in the world. I mean, I never had the best physique in the world.
I was actually going to ask that. I was going to say, did you have the best body, or did you sometimes just market yourself better than anyone
Did
else?
not have the best body, and definitely not in that top 5 ever. But I was so well known, and I've put a lot of effort in building a brand, putting a lot of effort in my social media, and making sure that people know who I am. And that has helped me a lot. That's probably helped me 80% of by putting the effort into my social media and stepping on stage. Because when you asked me the question earlier, it's not really about the competing for me. It was never about the competing.
Yeah.
Yes, I loved it. Prepping for a show and leading up to the event was my most favorite part. Stepping on stage was just part of it. But I did not have the best physique. But I know for a fact that I've put my heart and soul in marketing myself and building Jaco de Bruyn and JDB Fitness as a brand. And that would be my advice, because there's a lot of people that step on stage and they literally, and I get those messages in my inbox to this day, because I've got a few brands where people are begging for sponsorships, and it shouldn't be that way around. It should be the other way around. Sponsorship should approach you, so you are doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So put all of the effort rather in building a social media platform where you showcase your authentic self, who you are as a person, whether or not it is about bodybuilding or whatever the case might be. But the only way that people is going to see and be interested in you if you are authentic. But you are not going to be paid as a fitness. I was very lucky because I had international sponsors and they pay you.
Yeah.
But if I wasn't in that position, I would never have put so much effort into it, because you're gonna wake up too late when you're in your 30s, and now there's a 22-year-old that's got a better physique than you. What do you do? It's like a rugby player. They make so much money, and then at 35, if you don't plan, like, what happens to your life?
Yeah.
And the same thing is going to happen to people that compete in bodybuilding. There might be a lot of people that disagree with me, but I know I've been around long enough to know that people need to really put in the effort building a brand for themselves and using the brand to monetize it to make money.
I couldn't agree with you more. I get a lot of messages for people in fitness racing. Obviously, fitness racing has become a big thing. There's High Rocks, Dirty Dozen, even running again's a big thing. And people just ask, they'll see, like, I've joined a couple of months ago with Adidas. They're like, oh, can you get me a sponsorship? I'm just like, I'm still trying to sort myself out. And also, it's brands globally, actually, people aren't really paying people anymore unless you're full on top.
The industry has changed.
I think to a lesser extent, I'm never going to be the best athlete. I'm 44 years old. I'll be really good in my age category, but I'm relatable, I'm authentic, and I'm marketable. I don't market myself well enough by any means, but brands are willing to work with me and support me based on the way I market myself, not because I'm the best athlete.
100%.
Could I be? Maybe. I'm not going to be the world's best High Rocks athlete. It just doesn't suit my body type. I mean, I'm sitting at 100 kilos at the moment. Running at 100 kilos isn't fun.
Yeah, you don't want to see me.
I watched you guys in the Planet Fitness PFT. I laughed.
Jaco running, yeah.
They're running. I was like, this is going to be fun. I would love to bounce it in the ear there.
But can I just tell you something else about me, right? I've been a runner my entire life. Like my dad.
Oh, really?
My dad ran the Comet 16 times, and he drilled running into me. That's the only thing that I knew, and it's the only thing that I was allowed to do. I probably hated my dad for that, but I got so much from that dedication and discipline when it comes to running, because it's hard, bro.
Yeah.
Running is really hard, and I use that to my advantage in my fitness and bodybuilding life. So I thank my dad for that. But
running with weights,
people will never know that I was a runner. Like, now I look at myself, because I'm a big guy now. I carry a lot of muscle. But that's my goal this year, bro. I really want to do High Rocks with Brad. And I'm going to work on my running, because it's just rhythm. I just need to get fit into that. And it's when I saw that, I'm like, I can't not go back to my roots and not run. I look terrible. Like
You
I'm
know,
gonna make a meme of that.
we'll grab you guys for a deadly dozen. It's 400-meter runs. It might be a little bit more
Yeah, I think
more
that's more our
comfortable.
thing then.
Well, at the last High Rocks, I decided to do a relay with probably 3 of the best 4 or 5 male athletes in the country. And May and I had raced together, and I was really unfit. And all of a
Yeah.
sudden, 2-3 hours later, my muscles are seizing. Now I got to run at these legs.
Oish.
I watched a friend of mine who competes in what we do. He's about 120 kilos from Bloem, and he just ran straight past me on the second lap. I was just like, this isn't fun. But yeah,
Yeah.
chugging around a bit of weight with other sports isn't fun. But it's more about trying other things.
Yeah.
Are there any other sports that you guys are interested in or looking to do, or what's next?
Yeah, so we really want to give the Hyrox a go. Brad is way more fitter than me. He's extremely good at that. You know, his way of training and how he trains his clients is all fitness, body weight, endurance type of things, where I've never trained like that in my life. Mine is all hypertrophy strength training. So I think the two of us is really going to push each other to make that happen. I mean, I think Brad can do it now. I just need to get my running up.
You guys are going to do a doubles. You're going to do it together.
We do the doubles, yeah. Well, that's the plan. That's the plan.
Nice.
That's going to be completely out of my comfort zone, just saying.
Do you, I mean, we touched on it earlier, but always being on, always being ready. It's, I mean, I remember my first sub sponsor, they always said they love CrossFitters, they love people in functional fitness because you're always ready to shoot type thing, you're always in shape. Do you ever feel anxious about, back then, about the feeling of always feeling on, or even now, because, you know, you are recognizable. Let's say you go to Plek for the holidays or St. Francis or whatever, and you're taking your shirt off on the beach. People are naturally going to look and see, like, check how you're looking, because
Yeah.
they know you for a certain
Yeah.
thing.
I think probably now they will be like, yeah, Jaco doesn't look like he did like 5 years ago. But I'm always in shape. I
Yeah.
might not be as big, but I'm always in shape. I live the lifestyle, and it is part of who I am. I think my social media, when you go on there, people get a misperception of who I am as a person.
Yeah.
You know, they think, oh, this guy's arrogant, he's full of himself. Um, I'm complete opposite. And I understand why people now, my social media has changed a lot with our marketing and what Brad is doing for us with you know, the funny reels and just changing up and being more relatable and more authentic, where 2-3 years ago, when you looked at my profile, it's extremely hardcore and veins and ripped. Like, if I had to look at someone's profile and I saw that, it was like, this guy is definitely full of himself and
Yeah.
hardcore. But I always did look like that.
But that's just what you're doing at the time.
Yeah,
And
that's what I was doing at the time. But
you say about the funny videos. I actually just thought about now. I'm having a good laugh internally. We were in Dubai and we saw you guys do the English Afrikaans thing.
oh yeah,
My missus is Afrikaans, and my Afrikaans is pretty good. But when you get put on the spot with that, and I'm probably about 2-3 bottles of wine down as we got it on the video. We're never going to share it though. It was absolutely, we were literally rolling on the floor crying.
you have to test him when he's on this couch. It's like saying,
No, it was great. And the content's fantastic.
thank you.
So speaking about self-worth on the days that you don't train. I mean, why do you actually train these days? Is it for your head? Is it to look good?
I think a bit of both. It's still, I feel, the best therapy that I or anybody can get is to go to gym. But I always want to feel good about myself, and I feel like there's no sport in the world that makes you feel as good as about yourself than fitness and bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And because I've been doing it for so long, I don't think it will ever go away. So it's really, I really want to feel good. I want to be that person that takes off his shirt on the beach and you look good and people look at you. You know, it's like, I don't want to be a sluggish, fat person.
Yeah.
No offense to them, but it's just who I am. And I feel like you live once, you've been given this body, use it to the best. It's amazing what the human body can do, you know. Yeah, I just want to feel good.
I think the transformation's tough. You know, being in shape, it's really easy to stay in shape. I mean, I'm sitting about 10 kilos heavier than I want to be, and I'm dropping a little bit at the moment. But getting back into it, kind of like dad bod type thing, it's hard. But when I was really fit, like my brain's just telling me, hey, go to gym, can't wait to go to gym. And you actually, you find the time. You'll
Yeah.
always find the time.
Yeah, look, it's harder now the older you get. That's for sure. I'm not going to deny that, and I have to be a little bit more strict when it comes to what I eat. But yeah, if you do let go, I feel like sometimes it's harder to get back because now you're demotivated. You know the way that you looked in the past, and now you're constantly reminding yourself like, I want that, I want that. But life happens as well.
Yeah.
Being married and having two kids, it's a lot of work, bro. And you put a lot of attention to your kids to also teach them morals, teach them manners, be present, help them to understand, to deal with people and different personalities and friends, making sure that they excel academically, making sure that they do well in sport. That's a part of what people don't really see of
Yeah.
who Jaco de Bruyn is, because there's a lot of work that goes into that, and you can't not put your heart and soul into that because that's what you leave behind at the end of the day.
I think that's been my difference. Where I've put on a bit of weight. I always like to say the wife's fattening me up. But we've put so much more effort into each other in business and our
Mm,
kids and all that sort of stuff where, something's got to take a backseat. I always believe in balance, but so many people have come on the show just said there's no such thing as balance.
mm,
Like you'll naturally just shift
mm.
all the way through all the time. It's do you see yourself in the mirror the way other people see you, or is this some slight body dysmorphia?
Definitely body dysmorphia. I'm
Are
not,
you quite tough on yourself?
yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. I've got body dysmorphia. But I don't know how people see me. I don't. All I know is that what you see now is who I am. I haven't changed as a person. I'm as real as can be, and the people that know me knows that, and
Yeah.
the people that don't know me, this is who I am. I'm very happy. I'm very sure of who I am as a person. And yeah, I'm real.
Tell us about your family, what they mean to you.
So I've got the most incredible wife. We've been together now 24 years, which is a lifetime.
Yeah.
High school sweethearts, or just after high school. I met her in Scotland. She is South African. And she's been through thick and thin with me. Like you call it skinny fat, that's who I was
Yeah.
when she met me. 18 years old. And she's been through my whole journey with Mr. Pretoria, my modeling career, which I did extremely well, Mr. South Africa, Mr. World, and then transitions into fitness and building this incredible career for myself. And she's always been there, supportive, looking after the kids, me traveling the whole world to make sure that, I've put my heart and soul in it. And once I put my head on something, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And uh, there's one thing that I know for a fact: if I put my head on something, there I'll go for it. There's nothing in this world that I did not achieve with my own personal goals.
Yeah.
I might not have won a few things, but I've done it. I can tick that box, and I know that I put my heart and soul in. My wife supported me through all of that. And especially in the fitness industry, you hear a lot of people come and go and dating each other and getting divorced. It's a tough industry to be in,
Mm.
because you are constantly surrounded by absolutely beautiful people.
That's very superficial.
Yeah, it's very superficial. And
Yeah.
I have been surrounded by the most beautiful people in the world,
Yeah.
all around the world. And my wife has just never been jealous because she knows who I am as a person,
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I love my boys to bits. They're 14 and 12 years old now. So second year high school. The youngest is last year in primary. And it's nice to see that they are doing so well. They extremely good academic, and my youngest is doing every single sport that you can imagine. And I see so much of myself in him. I see that the oldest one is now turning into teenager and he's a bit more aware of the way he look.
Yeah.
I've got my home gym. He's using that now, and that makes me proud. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't have been the person I am if it wasn't for them.
So I just want to get back to the fitness industry. What do you believe is the most dangerous lie the fitness industry tells people?
Um, from my personal experience, is there's a lot of fakeness in it. Like you said, superficial. Um,
Probably even more so now, social media.
Yeah, I think social media has just created that platform for people. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry is a personal trainer now. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry is an influencer. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry is a coach. And
Yeah.
that's the one thing that annoys me a bit. But you got to fake it till you make it, and by all means do that.
Yeah.
But make sure that you do it with a good heart and good intentions and good morals, because there is really space for everybody. Whether or not you are qualified or not, for me, that I don't really care. If it brings how you say, if it's something that benefits you and you can make money from it, and you are qualified as a personal trainer, then by all means, then do that. But
Yeah.
just there's a lot of fakeness around in this industry, so that's the only thing that I hate about it, to be honest.
I suppose with social media these days, anyone can edit anything. There's
Yeah.
AI, there's all these different things. From a discipline point of view, has discipline ever crossed into control?
I think discipline is a very important key element for anything in life.
Yeah.
It's if you don't have it, you're not going to excel in relationships, in the sport, in business, in like discipline is extremely important. And if you don't have that, you won't be able to achieve what you want. So I think it's extremely important to make sure that that element is in every decision making that you do, whether or not it's competing or building a brand or um, teaching your kids, or like it's extremely important to make that sure that that's part of your life.
Do you, as you get older, do you ever fear losing your relevance? Or do you feel like, you've used your base to transition into the person you actually really were meant to be, which is an entrepreneur?
I think it's inevitable that it's going to happen. You're not going to be that Jaco de Bruyn for the rest of your life. But I definitely used my platform and my accolades to build my businesses, and um, to this day, I still are known for what I've done in the past. So I use that to my benefit. One thing that I've learned from Brad as well, he always say, if something doesn't work, just pivot.
Yeah.
And we've done that a lot. He also helped me to to transition from being that bodybuilder to being more relatable um, in our content, and that's really helped a lot. So it was something that I feared, yes, but it's just a decision that you're making. Go for it.
Yeah.
You People are not going to forget you. You just have to make sure that you are relevant and you are current and relatable.
Just in closing, I just want to ask one final question. 10 years from now, what do you want people most to feel about you, know about you, remember you for?
Um, I want to be remembered as that guy that helped other people create opportunities through my successes, and I still do that to this day. God gave me the opportunity to, you know, to to do well in what I love and what's my passion, and my firm belief was to recreate that opportunities for people. And I've done it, and I'm very happy that I've opened up that platform for people through my show, through the shows that I brought to South Africa, helping people transform. We do it now with Dadbot and Mombot as well. I would like to be remembered as a person that really helped other people, mentally, physically, being a better person, getting a better body, helping them grow their businesses. So yeah, that's what I.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on the show, and let's look forward to a massive 2026.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure.